Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to take you on a little adventure and give you 3 big updates on some things that are happening here at the nursery. We are here on the retail shrub lot, or what was the retail shrub lot, and you can see the fellas have been very busy both trenching some lines, and now they are cleaning them out. If you remember, Jerry and I were here last week. If you missed that video, check it out above. I'll have it linked. And that is where he explains exactly what is happening. So now that the nursery is closed for the retail portion for the winter, this is where we're going to do lots of improvements and change some things. One of those places is this shrub lot. And what we're doing is we are restructuring the irrigation lines, and we are installing a lot of French drains. So we have 2 sets of lines that are going on. The one that is directly in front of me right here, that is an irrigation line, and everywhere that you see a rebar sticking up with a little yellow tip, that is where the irrigation head is going to be. These will be sprinklers that shoot out for about 20 feet, I believe. So we've got the irrigation here, and then on this side you will see we have the drain boxes that are already installed. And basically what happens is you've got the French drains with some catch basins in them, then you've got irrigation, French drain, irrigation, French drain. So that is the kind of the format of how things are going on here. Jerry started this project last week, and it was one of those days where he just wanted to come out here and just work by himself. So that is what he did. I think Jackson was out here for a little bit, and of course we've been getting lots of rain. That is what our winters are, typically very wet. Today is the first day we have actually had like real sun in over a week, I believe. So they're taking advantage of this because of course the rains are going to come back in like 2 days and it's going to get cold. So this is the perfect time to get these trenches dug out, cleaned up. Josh is of course here with Jerry, and he said that he really thinks that they can get everything filled in. All they have to do is just clean up some of that extra soil out of those trenches right now, and they can start laying some line. So what Jerry and Josh are doing right now is you can see they have the whole system set up to see what the grade is of the lines. So we've got Josh standing there holding the pole, and it will tell, you know, how things are level and the grade. Of course, we want the drains to be sloping away, right? We don't want the drains level, or heaven forbid coming back to us. We want them to go towards the creek. That way they will catch in that nice big drain down there, and then we can pump it out so that, not pump it out, let it run out, and so it will not have standing water. You can see Emily is over there. She's on Brenna patrol, making sure Brenna behaves while I'm filming. So we've got this massive pile of gravel. They will use that, of course, with the French drains. And this will be that typical French drain system where you have the perforated pipe all the way around with the sock on it. So let me go show you exactly. We've got all the supplies over here, so we might as well just go ahead and show you. And this again is wash stone that we have. This is what we used at the driveway. So you can see it is just basically, for lack of a better word, pure stone. There's no sediment in there. It's not the crush and run. It is the wash stone. So the idea is that of course the water will flow straight through that rock, that gravel, get caught up in the pipe, and then of course flow itself out. I do believe Jerry is going to use some extra fabric. That's what he talked about. We'll see if that's what the actual plan is. Just because of course we have our red clay, and so we do not want these pipes to get clogged up. So here we have the pipe that has the sock on it. So that's what we call a sock. It's not, you know, it's really not a sock, but it is a fabric that water can go through. Ladies, it's like a heavy duty hose. It's not quite like tights, but it's like a hose. And then here is the pipe There you go. And you can see right here, if the camera will do my best here, my friends, there are slits. So there's little slits in the pipe that the water will go through. So the sock, as we call it, is what helps to just have the water go through and not any of the sediment or the mud. So that is what these four actually lines of pipe are right there. Of course, all the PVC, all the different parts. So here we have the PVC. I forgot to ask the fellas, let's see if it tells me. This is a 1 inch, yep, there we go, 1 inch PVC that will be for the irrigation. I'm gonna say that's 20 feet. That looks about like 20 feet. Wouldn't you say that's 20 feet? I say that's 20 feet. So they will have that for the irrigation. Then down here, they have all the different valves, all their elbows, their T's, their 250 feet of electrical wires to get all of that hooked up on irrigation correctly. So yeah, it is quite a project down here. Praise the Lord, it has gone very, very smooth. Like I said, Jerry was down here the other day. At first, he was going to leave the gravel on the lot because, you know, why work harder if you don't have to. But as he was getting in there, he realized that it would actually save a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of headache if he went ahead and cleared the gravel off. So it's just kind of piled up around the edges, because this whole shrub lot did have landscape fabric down on it, because we want the gravel to stay up and not have the mud sink up or soak up through it. So this whole shrub lot was covered in that landscape fabric. Well, when you're digging as many trenches as they're digging, that was really problematic. So he went ahead and used the Bobcat to pull all of that up, which really did save them a lot of time and, like I said, heartache, headache, the whole 9 yards. And so all that's cleaned up, and now they're just, like I said, getting those trenches nice and done. We've got a whole wonderful crew here getting it done. Many hands make light work. And yeah, so I'll keep you updated on how this goes. We'll see how everything goes today. Now, what we've been waiting on, another fun little update that I wanted to give you, was that today and tomorrow we are supposed to have our soil deliveries. Today is supposed to be the tractor trailer of the soil for production use. So this is all of the different types of soil that we use on the production side as a nursery, because we have different blends for our annuals, perennials, and shrubs. So we're going to show you that. That truck was supposed to be here first thing this morning. We're still waiting on that truck to come. Then tomorrow, either the same truck or same truck driver or another truck driver is coming with all of our retail soils. So that's going to be fun. It's nice to get all these products in our hands nice and early, well before we need them. That way it takes the pressure off. So he is coming today and tomorrow. And then I do want to show you, because they got the production 1 greenhouse poured with the concrete. So we're going to take you up there and show you that as well. I'll talk to the fellas and see if there's anything that I left out, and kind of keep you updated as the day goes on. So I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Okay, my friends, so we are going to change plans a little bit here today. That's the thing about life in general, and certainly being a small business owner, you just have to roll with the punches. So that is what we're going to do. Like I told you just a few seconds ago, we were expecting to get one of our deliveries from SunGrow. That's who we buy all of our professional potting soil from. And they were supposed to be here between 8 and 10 this morning, and 11 o'clock, still weren't here. Jerry emailed or somebody, and they're like, oh yeah, sorry for the inconvenience, they're not coming today, they're coming tomorrow. So we got 2 tractor trailers that will be full of pallets of soil coming tomorrow. So that's not going to happen today. So tomorrow I will show you the tractor trailers and give you an update on the concrete. So what we're going to do today is, because it is a beautiful sunny, it's just like the perfect December day out here as far as my opinion. I want to be outside. I don't want to be, stuck inside. So we're going to take advantage of the sun, and I need to clean up one of the flower beds here at the nursery, so why not do that today? So that is what we're going to do. Everybody is going to be still working behind me, so you'll see the fellows working behind me. You might hear machinery, it's just them working. Here we are at the my 15 favorite perennials for the South. If you missed, we did a couple of videos, so I will have them linked in the video description. You can also check out the link above. So we're going to come in here and just clean this up. It is December, it's mid-December, it is time. We've had multiple freezes. We're going to have more freezes this week, and it is time to go ahead and get things cleaned up. So I want to take you along for the journey to show you what I'm going to cut back and what I am not. Obviously, we also have lots of winter weeds. I have wild onions in here, nice little pockets of that, all sorts of things in here. So I just thought it would be really fun and hopefully informative for you to come along with me, because if you are a southern gardener like I am, then odds are you might have one or two or more of these plants in your garden. Maybe you don't know what to do with them. So as far as like here in December. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. What do I leave? What do I leave alone? What do I cut back? And then of course getting the weeds out and getting everything cleaned up. It's just one of those days where it's a beautiful sunny day, so let's just get outside, take advantage of it, get this done, and that way I can get this checked off my mental to-do list and be done. So I think probably the easiest thing is first I'm going to walk you through the bed and show you the plants that I am going to trim back and the ones I'm going to leave alone. I think that'll probably be the easiest thing. Yep, we're working on the fly here today, folks. So I'm going to come around on the other side, so that way this is, I guess, technically the front of the flower bed, and so that way we're going to start on one end and just work our way down to the other. Now, we installed this flower bed, I believe it was like July, so I did lose a few perennials during that time. So I'll talk to you about that. And so basically, as it'll be understood that if you see any weeds like these onions in here and other weeds, those are all going to be gone. This is the Fall in Love Sweetly Japanese Anemone. I had 3, I have lost 1. So what I'm going to do, when I say lost, it died. So what I'm going to do in here is just come in and get this cleaned up, trim it back. I will leave the green that's on there, leave it alone, and it will be fine. Back here in the back, we have some Baptisia. I'm going to cut that straight to the ground. If you want to leave it, you could. Like if you wanted to have texture in your garden and you want to leave it, go ahead, do it. It's great. I am going to cut it all the way back. It just cleans it up for me. Then we've got some Ansonia. There's a couple of different little pockets of Ansonia through here. Again, this will get completely cut down to the ground. So it'll, quote, disappear for the winter. It's going to be gone. Beautiful Monarda. Look at this. This is the leading lady raspberry. Beautiful color to it. It's got green and red and just really nice clumps. Leave it alone. I am not going to touch it right now. So that will get left alone. Back here in the back, there is the ultraviolet phlox. Again, straight to the ground. Same thing with my Edge of Night hibiscus. Now this is something that could be, depending on where you are, of course the summerific hibiscus are extremely hardy, right? So they're very cold hardy. They are heat tolerant for us, so that's great. These are perennial hibiscus. If you live in an area where you get a lot of snow load, right? So you get snow and it stays, then you're probably going to want to leave your hibiscus alone, and you're not going to trim it back until your snow is gone in the springtime. Here in the South, before I knew that I wasn't supposed to cut it back, this time of year I just cut it to the ground, and it has always done great for me. If you look on Premium Winter's website, it'll wait and say, you know, in late winter, early spring, then cut it back. Like I said, I didn't know any better, and I did it, and I never had an issue with it. So I like cutting it back. I personally don't want to look at the sticks, and we have a yellow jacket. Wonder if y'all saw that. So I'm going to cut it to the ground. You can cut your perennial hibiscus all the way to the ground, whether you do it now or in the spring, because your new growth is going to come completely from the root ball. It is not going to come off of any of these last year's growth, right? So cut it all the way down to the ground. When you do it, will be up to you. So be a student of your own garden and make sure you do it at the time that is appropriate for you. So we'll do that. I have got daylilies in here in the back, so you can see they're kind of dotted through here. I'm just going to come in there and clean it up. So the old foliage, just pull it off, and I'll probably leave the green growth, probably. And then here we have the Shasta daisies, beautiful. This is the Amazing Daisy, Daisy May, and it will be a beautiful evergreen for me. So this foliage will stay all the way through the winter, and I will just leave it alone. There's some weeds growing in there. You can see the stalks right here. We're just going to trim those back, and yep, easy peasy on that. There's another Summerific. They're going to be left alone. My Cheyenne Sky grasses back there, I like the winter interest, so I'm going to leave them alone. Come late winter, I will cut them completely to the ground. That way when they flush out new growth, the old growth will not be in there. And then moving on down the road, we've got the Echinacea. Echinacea, I'm just going to clean up. It too will be what I call a semi-evergreen. It's not going to be as nice and green as my Shasta daisies, but some of this foliage will stay. So I'm just going to clean up those old stalks and leave that alone. Next door, we have the Pink Profusion Salvia. I'm really going to clean this up. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this really far back. You'll see this green foliage right here. I'm going to leave that alone. So just leave it alone. But these stalks, I'm going to come in and clean it up. So I will have a little pocket right here of green, but it'll look so much better once I am done cleaning it up. And then another hibiscus, more Baptisia, more Amsonia. So you see it's a lot of the same plants. There are 15 different plants. They're just repeated in here in different patterns. We have the Midnight Masquerade Penstemon, another beautiful evergreen perennial for me. Clean it up, get the weeds out, it'll be good to go. I have the other pockets of the ultraviolet phlox. Again, cut it straight to the ground. And then I have the Nephophia. So this is red hot poker. What you can see, the spiky stuff, is the Nephophia. This is weeds. We don't want those. So we're going to just clean it up. Nephophia, I leave alone, and I will actually prune it back come late winter into early spring. That way, when my new growth comes back out, it's like my grass, it'll be nice and new, and then the old foliage will be done. So without further ado, I am just going to set the camera up, and I'm going to have a nice, enjoyable time out here in the garden while the folks work behind me. Brenna's running around playing with a stick and get these things trimmed back and get it weeded. All right, my friends, so the cleaning up of the 15 favorite perennials for the South flower bed is done. Looks so much neater and tidier over there. I'm telling you what, just a couple of hours of some good work in there in a gorgeous, nice, cool day. I didn't sweat one bit. If you're in the South, you understand that and appreciate that. But you can see just how much neater and tidier this whole space looks. What you see basically that is green, for the most part, is going to stay evergreen all through the winter. Just looks so nice. The biggest pain as far as the weeds go that was really difficult, and not difficult, it's just it doesn't pull out of the ground super easy, of course, are the wild onions. And you can see there's a clump right here on the edge. We really should consider, you know, instead of Creekside Nursery, we could be like Creekside Onion Farm. I think that has a nice ring to it, because clearly this soil does grows onions really well. And I wanted to give you, coming back over here to Johnny, I want to give you a couple of tips on if you have wild onions that come up in your flower beds. By no means am I the like specialist when it comes to things to spray on weeds, like different kinds of sprays, whether it's organic or non-organic. I am not the expert on that. I know there are certain things in the lawn that you can use that will kill onions. I'm not sure about as far as like the time of year, like in the winter, because a lot of the herbicides need the heat of the sun to really kind of help expedite that process of killing the weeds. So really your only option this time of year, which is the safest and of course the most organic, you know, all the way around, is to hand pull those onions. And there are a couple of tricks that you really need to be aware of to truly like pull the weed. Because if you've ever tried to pull a wild onion in your flower bed or anywhere, you know that if you just pull it, the top just pops right off. Well, the bulb and the root are still in the ground and they just regrow. So I'm going to flip the camera around right here because I have put all my weeds in the back of Johnny. So I saved this onion for you. I wanted to show you this. So this is what it looks like when you pull your onion out. This is a successful pull of an onion because you've got all the green, of course, that is showing up. Everything that is white is under the ground. That's how far down these onions go. And then of course the bulb at the end with the roots. They have a really pretty extensive root system. And then the onions also a lot of times grow in clumps. I'm trying to show this to you. So you'll notice like here, I did not try to shake off all that soil. Normally whenever I'm weeding, I really shake off all the soil because that's my good soil, right? I don't want to waste it. Well, the thing is though, look at those onions. Their roots are just everywhere and the bulbs are in there. So if I mistakenly, when I'm taking off my soil and I put some of those bulbs back in the ground, well, I've just replanted the onions. So I just went ahead and when they were in massive clumps like this, I just threw the whole clump away. So of course, when I say throw them away, they are going to go into our you know, our composting area where all this just returns back to the earth anyway. I never throw my green debris away like in the trash can unless it's like an invasive weed, like the dodder that is in my garden box, or if I know that it has some, like if I know that there's a certain like fungus or like there's a disease on the plant, then I will put it in the trash can. Otherwise, this is all great green debris. You can put it in your compost, your green pile, turn it, and then once everything's decomposed, you know, you can add it back to your garden, you know, in a couple of years, right? Once everything's decomposed. Another question that I know probably, because I've had a lot of questions about this, I have this kneeling pad that I have had for years, probably 3 or 4 years. You can tell that it's starting to show a little wear and tear here, but I love this because it is super, super thick, and I can, you know, sit on gravel, I can sit on the mulch, and it does not go through and pierce my knees. Plus, this time of year, it keeps my pants clean, so I'm not sitting in the wet soil. A friend of ours gave this to us or to me rather. He is one of our sales representatives for White Oak Coral, Keith. And so Keith gave this to me a couple of years ago. I think it's like a Christmas present. He always gives me a great calendar and some peanuts and some grits. And he gave me this kneeling pad a couple of years ago. Love this thing. Now, if you're going to want to order it online, I'm pretty sure it's either one of two places or both that I have seen it. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever, so you can go check them out. Gardener Supply and Kinsman Garden Company. If you look in our video description, I always have those places linked because I shop a lot from those places. And this is just, like I said, I just shop there, passing it along to you. If you want to go check out their stuff, Gardener Supply, Kinsman Garden Company, great products. And I'm pretty sure that they have, if one of them doesn't have it, they both have this kneeling pad. Nice and super thick and really wide, so you can move around a lot on that. So that is as far as I am done for my job today. I am done. But let's go check on the fellas and let's see how they are doing with the irrigation and the drains. All right, so the fellas are hard at work. I am not going to interrupt them. I'm just going to let them keep on working, and I'm just going to tell you what I have observed. I haven't talked to the fellas because, like I said, don't want to bother them, and they are hard at work. They have started to get the irrigation pipes in. That is the white PVC. So you can see here's a pile. So this is an irrigation, going to be an irrigation line. There's not any in that, but what they have done is go ahead and they have connected it into the existing irrigation down here with some valves, and then they've got some laid down here. Have just started to do that. Right now, the main thing that they are working on, of course, is the drainage. And you can see that they have laid down the landscape fabric. Again, this is just to help in the drainage. We're just trying to aid the water flow as much as we possibly can. So that is laid down. And then inside, let's see. Yeah, it's really hard to see because it's black on black. But in here is the pipe. So if you can see that the pipe is already in here and it is connected to all the boxes. So that is what they have done. They have started to work from the top closest to the barn, and they are going down towards the creek. So then what they will do at this point is start to get the gravel, and then the gravel will go on top. I don't know if they're going to fold the fabric over and then put the gravel. I don't know. That part I'm not going to ask them. I'm not going to bother them about that. So they are, like I said, hard at work. It is getting to be mid-afternoon. They have been at it all morning, and of course everybody is starting to get a little tired around here. But the good news is we have one more day of no rain. Cooler temperatures are going to be coming in, so again, don't have to worry about sweating and worrying about that. But it has been quite a productive day here today, even if it's not exactly how I thought the day was going to go. I learned a long time ago to be flexible and go with the flow, because the Lord has my day planned, not me. And my kids will be like, "Mama, what are we doing today?" Well, I think we're doing this, but I really don't know. So we just kind of go with the flow, and it's just, no need to get all hot and bothered about it. Just, it is what it is, and we're just going to keep on moving on. So anyway, I hope your day is going well, and I hope you're having a really good day and a good start to your week. For us, it is Monday here. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here and go find some other mischief to get into. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.